And I'm about finished. Hello to those who have stayed through this collection of films that I've done as I was creating this portrait of Ozzy. I'm on the tail end. It's now 7 minutes past 11 on June the 8th. This is taken since May the 29th, I think. I've got to check the dates, but I'm near finished. So this is Ozzy in about 1982. This is the time that he was doing Bark at the Moon. He's got the cape on that he had during that time. That's how I've dated it. Thing is, when you see these photos, usually they don't date it, but it's working knowledge of knowing the music and being there at the time, and it was a better time. The thing is that the party has sort of ended, and we've got to try and bring the party back. The party happened starting in the 50s, and it started with rock and roll, and rock and roll bred other acts, and then that gave us the Beatles and the Stones and the Small Faces, and other people learnt how to play through these people. So Beatles became a huge influence with other musicians, and the 70s happened, and we had metal. Well, the thing is with Black Sabbath, they were more 12-bar blues, and they were heavy blues, heavy rock and heavy blues. Metal wasn't really named as metal. Even it sort of came out of the 70s, and it came out from Easy Rider and Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild. There's a line in Born to Be Wild with Heavy Metal Thunder. That's where it comes from. So all of this metal, idea about, oh, it's metal music, well, it actually came from Steppenwolf with Born to Be Wild. But these yeah, I'm just trying to think of things to say. The thing is that we didn't really know what metal was. I mean, you've got Hawkwind, and that was called space rock at the time. It was a space type of experimental music. I mean, they did a lot of experimental music during the 70s, and you'd hear these keyboards and guitars. Now, the thing is with a lot of 60s music, I've never worked out why we haven't got that vibrato warble on keyboards now. I suppose you could engineer it, but if you listen to The Doors, there's a specific sound with those keyboards that we don't seem to get now. It could be because of the old technology, but I miss that sound. But I will never go back to, I will never go with modern music now. You can say move along with the times. Well, here's the thing. I grew up with this guy. And yes, it's real. I grew up with Ozzy. And I grew up with a lot of genres of music in the charts. And it rubbed off. And I knew the music when Motley Crue were playing. I remember Motley Crue really well. And I also remember, away from Ozzy, Ugly Kid Joe, Extreme, Winger, even Loverboy. I remember these groups. And if you want me to replace that and that explosion of music and culture with modern music, you can forget it. With streaming and that kind of thing, you can forget it. I'm not doing it. I like this, and I will always stay to this. So any new ideas, any kind of vanilla type music, I'm not interested. Anyway, let me just check the date on this. It was the 29th. So now I will do this. Just got to try and frame it right. And it's now the 8th. There we go. And that is Ozzy finished in about 11 days. So this is video 6, and I've got things to show you, but now... Oh, yeah, I really have. I've just been... Yeah, that's clever. Okay, there's a mess of CDs on the floor. Right, let me just do this because I've got to try and get this calendar off. I'll just... there we go. Now I usually frame in the hall, but I'll have to do it on this door at the moment, because if I start talking, someone's going to hear downstairs and think that I'm talking to somebody and will shout up, "Who are you talking to?" And it'll ruin the video. So let me just take that. I should have taken this off on. Excuse me. There we go. Right. Winsor Newton Fixative Spray. Now, it's the best spray that I've used. This is the matte professional one. You can get a gloss one, but it stinks to high heaven. So it's not really worth dealing with. But what this does is because if you look there, you can make smudges with the pencil. Just take that off. And you can make these smudges with the pencil. And if you're putting them into... It's alright if you're framing it now. If you're just framing the picture, it's fine. If you go from finish a drawing to frame it, it's fine. But when you are putting it into plastic sleeves, it'll rub. And I've lost pictures like that. Now this stuff doesn't yellow. If you spray a varnish on something, it won't yellow. And it gives a clear coat which just protects the picture. You still get the shine and you still get the depth, but it just protects it. So you shake it up and then it's just... and that's all you need to get a stink in the room and for all afternoon. It does really smell, but it's better than the gloss one, which really does reek. So you can see how you've still got that shine, but I can't move it at the moment because it's drying. Now when you do this, you can't scan it straight away because the heat from the scanner will transfer onto the plate, and it'll transfer the glue onto the plate. So I leave it for a whole day, and then I'll end up scanning it tomorrow. Now you can only really get an A4 scanner. There are A3 scanners, but they cost an arm and a leg, and you scan in thirds. So if you put it on the plate as A4, let me get this A4 page. So if you scan that and put this on the back surface of it and use your hands on the page, both hands like that, and walk it down when you see the light, you'll get that transferred onto your printer. And then you move it down a bit. So you scan that, and then you scan that, and then you go onto the computer, which I use paint.net, and you spend an age playing digital jigsaws, and then you have to go through and pick out all of the dirt and all the bits, doing this in a close-up zoom, and eventually you get the scan and put your logo on to stop idiots from stealing your work. Now let me go on to Ozzy. It wouldn't be right for me to do this Ozzy picture without showing Ozzy's music and talking about it. So if I just take my hand over here, right, we're sitting down now, and we'll go to, there we are. Now the first port of call will be Sabbath. Now these are new editions. I have got another Sabbath, which is that one, and that's Sabbath the singles. That's a limited edition box set. I did show this before, but this is all of the singles. There's only 2 tracks on it. It's let me just sort this out, sort these discs out. Most of my Ozzy stuff is on CD, but this one is a really nice box set. Is it worth it? Well, sort of. It's very rare, but all of these songs are on the albums. So it's really, really nice to have with these miniature replicas and a poster. You get a Black Sabbath poster. I think that's double. I think that's a double poster. Yeah, it is. So it's really nice having this this box set, but it's for a collector. It's for a collector. So you get Hard Road and Never Say Die. I'm going backwards here. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Tomorrow's Dream. Paranoid. And Evil Woman. If you look into the disc, they look like vinyl singles. So they look like the original single. It's nice. it's nice. It's a collector's piece more than anything. I don't know how many were made from it. The day it came out, 2000. So I don't know how many were made from the date. I bought this second hand because it's a bit chewed up. But with that code, it's obviously 10,099, but I've got no idea how many were produced. So the first one you get, so you get Black Sabbath. This is the new the re-release of these albums, as I said. I like this. I usually play a lot when I'm doing horror artwork, but I've got the original Black Sabbath. Obviously, I've got Paranoid, and it's a complete redo. Some of them are coloured, some of them are purple, but I can't really take it out. Then you get Black Sabbath 3, which is Master of Reality. That's got raised lettering. Now there's some CDs that are out which I'm going to have to get, and those CDs have two two CDs with them, a load of outtakes and extras. Now I was born a few months before this came out. This is volume 4. Again, gatefold. And this, again, fantastic album. I've only got the Ozzy albums. It says something, but I've only got the Ozzy albums. This artwork and this artwork was done by Drew Struzan. And it's one of his early pieces. And then you get this and Sabotage and Technical Ecstasy. I still can't work out why they went from this and this to something with an airbrush robot shooting each other. I still can't work that out. And then we get to Never Say Die, which again, these two are very, very different to the other Sabbath albums. On vinyl, I also have Bark at the Moon, which does have a the original poster in it. This is also a re-release. And there was this, which came with the tapes and the CD that I bought from the Osbournes, and the CD has an autograph, and it is an official autograph. So yes, I have got Ozzy's autograph, but can I frame the things with with that autograph, not without destroying the booklet? And I'm not prepared to do that. Then you get, that was the final one, and it's picture disc. Strangely, I haven't got any Ozzy picture discs. I need to go hunting. But as I said yesterday, I'm doing this, I do this, and once you've collected them, you have nowhere to turn because you've completed the set. And also I have this, which is a CD, but there's also a comic book in it by Todd McFarlane. On Extra Black Sabbath there is Live at Last, and there is also this, and I've got this horrible feeling this is a bootleg type. I bought this from HMV, so it is sort of official, but I don't think it's linked to Ozzy and the Ozzy family. There's a few like this with radio recordings. They're really good, but it hasn't got the polish that if it's official Ozzy. But it's some of the recordings are a bit scratchy. It could do with some clean up. Then we go on to Ozzy, and you should know these albums. Now the picture that I've drawn comes from this era. Comes from that era. Now this one is a very special one. It's got a live recording on it, and those also look like CDs, like vinyl singles. I'm sure there's a story in this, but this is where Ozzy became solo, and this is where the artwork comes from. Right, now, Speak of the Devil. Now that album is a collection of Sabbath covers. He was forced to do it because of Don Arden wanted the license. He wanted to manage, and he was causing no end of trouble with them, and it sort of forced him to do this. It's all right, but he was on a different path. Then we get Tribute, which also I've got Tribute on vinyl. I'm going to have trouble finding it actually. There we are. Let me just do that. There we are, Tribute on vinyl. So this is the original Tribute album on vinyl, and I'll just wipe that. And you get this. It's a love letter to Randy Rhoads, and it's a fantastic album on any format. Obviously with vinyl you're having to flip the disc, but if you want it complete, it's that. But if you want it, that's the original. That's the original release. Now the weird thing is, Ultimate Sin and Speak of the Devil are pictured the same, and I really like Ultimate Sin. This is the one that I showed you the Wraith album not so long ago on another video, and that has Secret Loser on it. They're very difficult to read the listing, but Shot in the Dark is there. This could do with a re-release in line with how this was produced, just for the cover, and yes, I would buy it. We then get to No Rest for the Wicked. Now we get to proper Ozzy when he's... yeah. This is the one with Miracle Man. Now if you know about Jimmy Swaggart, you'll know Miracle Man and what happened. Miracle Man is an absolute joy to hear. But this has also got Devil's Daughter, Crazy Babies, Breaking All the Rules, and I like this album. This was out around the time that I left school, and No More Tears, again, fantastic. Osmosis, if you're collecting, this is what you've got to do. This is the one with Perry Mason on it. No More Tears is one of the greatest albums ever released. This starts with Mr. Tinker Train, and it's got Mama I'm Coming Home and Zombie Stomp, and I can just play that constantly. Osmosis has well, it's got My Little Man, which is a song he wrote for Jack, and I Just Want You. Down to Earth, again, that is Ozzy. That image is Ozzy. They had x-rays of him. Undercover. Now we'll just go to this. Undercover, Undercover, Prince of Darkness box set. I've got 3 copies of Undercover. That is a flipper disc. One side is a DVD, one side is a CD. So you get this flipper disc. Now the weird thing is, my new CD player doesn't like this disc. It won't play it. The old one did, but my new one won't. So I had to buy that. And then when I got this, which is a 4-disc compilation set, that is this. So I've got an extra album. This is... He didn't like doing compilations. But... do you know, with Undercover, I think that he could have done a blues album. If you listen to the last track, Dark Side Blues, on Patient number 9, I think he got the chops to do a blues album. I think he could have done a proper blues album. Scream is a bit heavier than usual, but it's got I Love You All. Now the vinyl of that has 3 extra songs. I've got to get the vinyl. I haven't got it yet. Then we get Black Rain. I love that album. That is definitely Ozzy's autograph. I saw that he was doing Ordinary Man, and there was a special offer online, and it was I'm having it. So I had the tapes of all. I bought everything with it. So I've got the vinyl, the tapes, which are still sealed, and they gave me a badge as well. And then we get to Patient number 9, which is also on extra CD. That same CD. Let me just get it. That's the same CD. It's just that's got a comic in it. And yeah, they're very personal albums. If you read the liner lyrics, you'll know they're personal. But he knew he was going. He knew that it was the end. And yeah, it's difficult to hear it. But there's songs on there that, like Ordinary Man, that are very, very personal, extremely personal on these. And that's all I've got at the moment. As I said, when you do this artwork, let me just get the artwork out and I'll finish off the video. So it's dried. So when you do work like this, yeah, when you do this, it becomes something more than just a drawing to show online. It's a tribute to someone's memory, and I was there at the funeral, and it's still affecting me. And this is one reason I'm doing all of these musicians. I'm planning something very big, but I the size of it. I haven't got the chops to get to where I need to go. So whatever I do will have to be self-published. There is something that could be happening in the future, but I will be drawing Ozzy again. Also, before I finish, this is on my shelf. This is called a Minicon, and they came out early 2000s. I've also got an Alice Cooper and an Eddie from Iron Maiden. These can't be done now, you can't find them, but they're alright, cartoony. NECA could do a really good Ozzy Werewolf, but they haven't yet. There is also an Ozzy figure that came out with the Osbournes, and they also had Jack, Kelly and Sharon. I've got the Ozzy one on my shelf. It's cartoony. I think there could be a really good one of the werewolf. But that's it. That's all I've got. I'm now going to have to wait for that to dry properly so I can scan it. And this is the end of drawing Ozzy. The next video, I'm not sure who it'll be. I've printed off some, but you've now seen that I've done this by hand. And it's real. And whoever's watching, I will never forget Ozzy. The problem we've got is once generations pass, it gets further and further away. Case point, go up to a teenager now and ask them who Bugs Bunny is. Go up to a teenager now and ask them who Garfield is and Snoopy. And ask them if they've seen Josie and the Pussycats, the cartoon series, and Captain Caveman, and In Chai Private Eye, and Hong Kong Phooey. Those were around when I was a child, in the 70s and the 80s. The moment we went to widescreen TV, they just disappeared. Same as the A-Team and Knight Rider and Street Hawk and Airwolf. All of those disappeared. Widescreen, you have to have side matted. They didn't side mat them, they cropped them and enlarged them. And then the cartoons went. Now the reason the cartoons went was, well, you had people complaining about cartoons and saying they were violent. Well, they complained about music and Ozzy. But they said they were violent. And also, we had a thing in the UK where they took all the sugar out of cereals, and they tried to get, well, they did. They successfully took all of the sweet toy and everything else adverts off the TV. Well, the thing is, on commercial stations, those adverts were paying for the programmes. So now all of the cartoons are gone. Children aren't running home from school to watch He-Man and Transformers and Thundercats and all the other cartoons that I ran home from school to watch. What they've got on a Saturday are very bland cooking programmes where somebody will use a great big glob of butter to cook, and yet you're not allowed to advertise sweet stuff and things with fat in it, but you are allowed to see a chef go and put globs of butter in. And this is the slot that I was watching Tiswas on, and I was watching Going Live and Saturday Superstore, and I was watching Saturday morning cartoons. They've all gone. And now you've got children who are growing up on social media platforms, and even before that they were watching things like the Jeremy Kyle show, which was trash. And I grew up with Sesame Street. I grew up with the Muppets. I grew up with Hanna-Barbera cartoons, Warner Brother cartoons. I also grew up with metal, rock, metal, disco, soul, pop. I mean, Madonna was completely different to who she is now. And I was enjoying that period, and then it stopped. The party stopped in the 90s, and it went and hit the skids, and we need to get the party back. We need to get rock in the charts, because rock was this kind of up yours to the world. It was that kind of, don't let the authorities grind you down. Ozzy's songs were think for yourself and don't believe the big groups that are telling you to follow them. A lot of his songs, a lot of these songs were think for yourself. Think for yourself and have fun playing rock. And that was what rock was. It was come and join the party. And now that Ozzy has gone, it feels like he's taken the genre with him. We need a new group of people who are influenced by Ozzy and the metal bands of the 80s. And we need them in the charts. But the problem is, the charts are completely different to what they are now. I mean, I know for definite that bands used to go into stores and buy albums such as this and sell them at the concerts. And if you bought them from the stores, you'd get it to be a sale that would make money for the just raise the profile of the album. And now it's Spotify, now it's Apple Music, now it's Prime and things, and it's controlled, and it's not the proper music. It's not the music that I was listening to. If you listen to it on vinyl, if you listen to it on CD, physical media, it sounds better. It's condensed, so you don't get the perfect version of that song. The only way that you can experience it properly is physical music. Go out, buy Ozzy albums now. If you haven't got any Ozzy albums, get Bark at the Moon first. Go on, get Bark at the Moon first. Follow it up with Diary and Blizzard. Just go and get the albums. Don't listen to them on streaming. Get the albums. Get the physical albums. If you're going to start with Black Sabbath, get Paranoid first. Then get Sabbath 4 and Masters of Reality. You will not regret it. But now, well, I've got a book on hit singles over there, and it ends around 93, and I could show it to you now, but this video's gone on for too long, so let's leave it till the next one. But I will show you something where the music has completely changed, and you can sort of put a point where it changes. You can hit a point where it changes. And it's like one day it's there, and the next day it's changed. But don't forget Ozzy. I will never forget him. I will never forget him, and I will never forget what he did. And I need to stop. I need to stop this video, because it's been going on for too long and it's difficult to talk at the moment. So end of video, and now bye. See you.